Okay, students, welcome to the new class with the new topic. In the last class, we have discussed about so many factors regarding population. So, in the next continuation, we will discuss about the processes of population change or population growth. So, there are three main processes of change of population, that is birth rate, death rate, and migration. So, what is birth rate? Before starting or before telling about the birth rate, we must know that there is a natural increase in population, and that is the difference between birth rate and death rate. So this is the natural increase in the population. So about the birth rate, it is the number of live births as per 1,000 people in a year. What is that? Birth rate is defined as the number of live births per 1,000 person in a year. So it is a major component of growth because in India, birth rates have been always higher than death rate. So this is very important component of growth in the population. Then comes death rate. Death rate is the number of deaths per 1,000 person in a year. So this is the death rate. Death rate is the number of deaths per 1,000 persons in a year. So that main cause of the rate of growth of the Indian population, that has been rapid decline in death rate. So nowadays, because of better the facilities in the healthcare condition, that are quite better. So in that case, there is a decline. There is a decline, rapid decline in death rate. Okay, then comes third component, that is migration. So migration is the movement of people across the region and even territory, or you can say in very simple way, migration, that is the movement of people from one place to another place. The region may be various. So these are of two type: internal, that is within the country, and international, between the countries. So within the country, that is internal migration, and between the countries, from one country to another country, if anyone is moving, that is international migration. So international and internal migration. About the internal migration, we can say it does not change the size of the population, but it influences the distribution of population within the nation. That is the internal migration. So migration plays very important or significant role in changing the composition and distribution of population. So mostly in India, most migrations that have been from rural to urban areas because of push factors in rural areas. What are the push factors? You know that in rural areas, facilities or better facilities are not there. So these are the push factors that these push factors are pushing the people to go to cities and towns. So these are the push factors because of that many people are moving from rural area to urban area. So these are the push factors are the adverse conditions of poverty and unemployment in rural areas. Then pull factors. So pull factors are or these can be observed in cities and towns, and these factors are pulling the people from villages because in cities and towns better facilities are there. Okay, so these are the push and pull factors in terms of migration. We can say with these things that migration is an important determinant of population change. It not only changes the population size but also population composition, especially in urban areas. Rural populations mostly in terms of, let it be any age, let it be any sex composition, people are moving from the rural areas to urban areas. So because of this rural urban migration, there was a steady increase in the percentage of population in cities and towns because of that, because many people are living rural areas and moving to cities and towns. So in that case, many that population there that there was increase in rural urban population all the way. So in that case, many million plus cities, these are formed in India in the recent decades. Okay, so this was about the process of population change. Then comes age composition. So what is the age composition? So age composition of a population, it refers to number of people in different age groups in a country. What is age composition? So age composition is the number of people living in different age group in a particular country. Again, it is one of the most basic characteristics of the population. So this is again divided into three categories. This composition, age composition, that is having three categories. One is children age. Generally, it is below 15 years. So these are economically unproductive, means they are not earning anything, and they need to be provided with food and clothing, education and medical care. So this is about, okay, that was children age. The next is working age. Working age, that is between 15 to 59. The age group, that is 15 to 59. This is known as working age. That we can say that people in this category, they are economically productive and biologically reproductive. This is very important age group, that is working age, starting from 15 to 59. Then we know that these are economically productive, they are only at the earning group, and even biologically also they are reproductive, means this they are biologically also they are productive. So they comprise the working population. So this is known as working population. Those who are coming between 15 to 59 age group, they are coming under working population. Then aged group, that is above 59 years. Aged group means above 59 years. So they can be economically productive through their what we can say, though they are retired, but still they can use their experiences in some sort of economically production. They may be working voluntarily, but as they are not available for employment through recruitment, because their age is over. So in this case, first children age and this aged group, they are dependent on working age, because they are not the earning, or they are not economically productive. So both are depending on working age. Then comes next category, sex ratio. What is sex ratio in this chapter? That it is defined as the number of females per 1,000 male in the population. That is counted in the population. Number of females per 1,000 male. So this information is also very important factor of, or you can say social indicator, to measure the extent of equality between males and females in society. This is a very important social indicator to know about the equality, or to measure the extent of equality between males and female in society. So in this case, the sex ratio of our country, that is remained unfavorable. That is remained unfavorable most of the time. So in India, Kerala is the country which is having highest sex ratio, and Haryana is the state which is having lowest sex ratio in the country. Then comes literacy rate. So literacy, what is literacy? In that case, it is very important quality of the population. So it is very important quality of a population. Obviously, it is that information, and even some educated citizens, they can make this intelligent choices and undertake the research and development projects. You know that if people are educated and if they are intellectual, they can participate, or they can be the part of research and development projects in the country. So according to Indian system, a person having the age of 7 years and even above, they can read, write and understand any language. They are treated as literate. Any person attaining the age of 7 and above 7, if they can read, write and understand any language, they are treated as literate. Okay, so literacy rate, that is also improving in our country because of so many steps taken by our country. Then comes occupational structure. So occupational structure, this is again another important factor. What we can say, this is one sort of index of development. So in this case, we can say the percentage of population that is economically active, and that is the important index of development. So in this case, occupational structure, that is divided into three part, again three categories, that is primary activities, secondary activities and tertiary activities. So this occupational structure is divided into three part: primary activities, secondary activities and tertiary activities. So primary activities includes agriculture or farming, animal husbandry, forestry, fishing, mining, quarrying. So these are the sub activities coming under primary activities. So why these are known as primary activities? Because these are basic activities. Because of these activities, we cannot say we can survive. Then second one is secondary activities. So these activities include manufacturing, industries and secondly we can say construction work, building and construction works. So this is coming under secondary activity, manufacturing industry and construction work. Then tertiary activities. So tertiary activities includes transport, communication, commerce, administration and all type of services. So this is tertiary activities that is coming or sub activities of this tertiary activities, that is transport, communication, commerce, administration and all type of service activities. Then then this is about the occupational structure. We know that in most of the developed countries nowadays, secondary activities and tertiary activities, they are having more percentage. In that case, in India, mostly or even around 65% people, they are depending on agriculture, and we can say that this is our primary activity, that is farming. But nowadays our tertiary sector and the secondary sector, they are in the increasing order in this case, because India is also a developing country. Then comes health health is one another important component of population composition, which affects the process of development. And many, in this regard, many efforts were done by the government to increase the healthcare condition in our country, and because of that, healthcare conditions are improved. Death rate that has declined from 25 per thousand, that was in 1951, to 8.1 and even less than that per thousand in 2011. So in this case, life expectancy, that is also increased because of these healthcare conditions and decline death rate. That is you can say life expectancy increased from 36.7 years, that was in 1951, to around 65 years in 2011. So this is very important factor. And even life expectancy. Life expectancy, we can define that how much life is expected at the birth time of a child. That is life expectancy, and that is, we can say, because of better healthcare conditions, life expectancy of our country that is increased all the way. Then comes uh, for improving better healthcare conditions. Our country, that in our country, government has taken a lot of steps for better healthcare conditions. Because of that, our death rate declined and life expectancy that was increased. Then comes adolescent population. So this is a topic, very important topic. You should be very careful about this topic. So most significant feature of Indian population is the size of its adolescent population. So this constitutes 1/5 of the local population in India. So adolescents are generally grouped in a age group from 10 to 19 years. So you can say children, those who are coming under the category of 10 to 19 years, they are known as adolescent people, or they are coming under adolescent population. So they are the most important resource for the future. This we should not forget, that this age group, that from 10 to 19, they are not known as adolescent population, and they are the most important resource for our future. Nutrition. Nutrition requirement for adolescent, that is higher than those of normal child or even adult also. So adolescent population, that requires more nutritional requirements than other uh, normal child and even adult. Poor nutrition, poor nutrition can lead to deficiency and stunted growth. That can lead to poor, uh, what we can say, deficiency and stunted growth. But in India, diet available to adolescent, that is inadequate in all the nutrients. This is the problem in our country, that for adolescent, that uh, nutritional value, that is quite less. So a large number of adolescent girls are suffering from anemia. Their population, their problems, that have so far not received adequate attention in the process of development. Though adolescent girls, they have to be sensitized to this problem for their system. Then their awareness can be improved through the spread of literacy and education among them. So this is the, no doubt, big problem, especially in girls community and in adolescent population. Then next topic is national population policy. So that is regarding to adolescent population only. The government, they have started national population policy in, initially it was started in 1952. So recognizing that planning of families, that would improve the individual health and welfare, the government of India, they have initiated comprehensive family planning program in 1952. So they thought that this will improve the individual health and welfare of the people. So for that, in 1952, comprehensive family planning program that was started by Indian government. So family welfare program that was sought to promote the responsibilities and planned parenthood on the voluntarily basis. So for that, this was better known as National Population Policy 2000. That was uh, that was the, you can say, known as NPP 2000, and in that many sub policies were made, and many that efforts were started by the government. So under this NPP 2000, the policy framework and that imparted the free and compulsory education up to the age of 14 years of age, which reduced the infant mortality rate to below 30 to 1000, 30 per 1000 live births. So these were the two major contents of NPP 2000 that government has started imparting free education, free and even compulsory education for the children age, that is starting from 6 to 14 years. So up to the 14 years of age, children were given free and compulsory education. And second one was reducing the infant mortality rate from 30 to whatever we can do per 1000 live births. So what is infant mortality rate? Dying of children below the age of 1 year, that is known as infant mortality rate. So this is very important question for 1 mark question, that what is infant mortality rate. Infant means the child below 1 year age. So dying of the children below 1 year age is known as infant mortality rate. So this was the second contents of NPP 2000, that government has made the efforts to reduce the infant mortality rate. Then achieving universal immunization of children against all the vaccine preventable disease. So immunization, universal immunization system that was started against many, you can say many disease. Then promoting the delayed marriage for girls. This was another component of NPP 2000, that government, they encouraged, they promoted the delayed marriage for girls and making the family welfare a people-centered program. So these were the different features of NPP 2000. Then next, about the adolescent. About the adolescent also, the government has started many efforts. They have started many efforts in connection with the adolescent in the NPP 2000, that is National Population Policy 2000. You know that this adolescent age group, that is quite sensitive population. So for that, what government has started, they need to be give more attention towards adolescent population. Beside the nutritional requirement, policy put greater emphasis on the important needs of adolescent, including protection from unwanted pregnancies and sexually transmitted disease. So that was the important feature of NPP 2000 in association with the adolescent population. So what they have emphasized, that adolescent population, they should be protected from unwanted pregnancies and from sexually transmitted disease. It called for the program that aimed towards encouraging the delayed marriage and even childbearing process. So in this case, that was also emphasized that there should be a delay in the marriage and even childbearing process also. So education that was given to adolescent about the risk of unprotected sex also. So this education that was also given to adolescent population about the risk of unprotected sex. And in that connection with that unprotected sex, that people or that adolescent population, that was again provided with the contraceptive services. For them, contraceptive services that was also provided, and that was on the affordable rate also. Then providing them food supplements, nutritional services for strengthening their that legal measures, and even most important factor, that is delaying the child marriage also. So these were the different features of NPP 2000 in connection with adolescent age or adolescent people. Then this is all about this chapter, that is population. So in the next class we will discuss about the next chapter. So I think for today it is more than sufficient. Now you can leave the meeting. Bye bye for the day. God bless you. Thank you.